Yo, what's up guys? It's Noah here, and in today's video, I'm going to be talking through some player props I like on Prizepicks for today's MLB slate on Thursday, July the 10th. We got 10 games on Thursday. We got a couple early games, but mostly mostly night games today. I think it's 7 night games, and then I think we got like 2 or 3 early games. But I got 2 plays for today. Small board right now at the time I'm recording this video. There's not like a ton of props up. There's a lot of demon and goblin lines, kind of like always the night before. So it's really tough, doing these videos, but I try and get these videos out the night before just because it allows for more people to be able to watch them, to get the plays in. Whereas if I'm making the videos in the afternoon, it's just not going to really do much good, when the videos are only going to be up for like a couple hours before the game starts. So I always try and do these videos the night before. I know the board's a little bit thin the night before. There's not as many props, but I do always give out more Prizepicks plays every day over on Patreon. So once we get more props added on Thursday morning, that's when I'll post more plays on Patreon. You can check that out, linked down below in the description if you are interested. But we got 2 early plays I do like for today on Thursday. We're going to break down these plays. We're going to talk about why I like them. Now, before we do get started, guys, as always, if you enjoy these Prizepicks videos, make sure to hit that like button down below, hit that subscribe button as well. And if you guys are new to the channel, and if you are new to Prizepicks, if you don't have a Prizepicks account, make sure to go sign up. Use that promo code NOAH when you do sign up for Prizepicks with my promo code and play your first $5 lineup. You're going to get $50 in promo funds instantly added to your account. Easy way to kickstart your bankroll on Prizepicks. Sign up, make a deposit, and use that code NOAH. So that way you get those $50 in promo funds added to your account. And then we do also have a partnership with Sleeper. So I want to give a quick shout out to Sleeper. If you guys have never heard of Sleeper, you can download the Sleeper app, use promo code NOAH over there, and you'll get your first deposit matched up to $100. Now, what Sleeper is, they're a DFS pick'em app, so they're very similar to Prizepicks. They're very similar to all the other DFS pick'em apps that you see around the industry. You just pick more or less on player projections. You build out your lineup. You can do up to an 8-pick lineup on Sleeper, win up to 100x your money. You can mix and match sports as well, and Sleeper does offer a lot of different sports, a lot of different stat types. They do like alt lines, they do home run props, a bunch of stuff. You can take, if you think a guy has maybe goes way over his projection, you can take alt lines. If you want to take lower lines on props, you can do that. Obviously that'll result in a lower payout, but there's a lot of ways you can build out your lineups on Sleeper. So if you guys do want to check them out, again, sign up, use that promo code NOAH, and you will get your first deposit matched up to $100 over on Sleeper. But before we talk through our props today, guys, for Thursday, I do want to recap our plays from Wednesday's video before we go over today's plays. So we gave out 2 picks Wednesday, and we went 1-1. So, couldn't get a full sweep, unfortunately. The play that we missed on was Mookie Betts over fantasy score. Mookie, I think he went 0 for 5 on Wednesday. He did have an RBI, but he got 5 at-bats, which, man, if you would have told me Mookie was going to get 5 at-bats, I would have felt pretty good about him cashing his fantasy score. But, yeah, the Dodgers didn't have a ton of success scoring against Jose Quintana. I think they only scored like 2 runs. Mookie, again, got 5 at-bats, didn't really do much. Was just grounding out. Didn't really have any hard hit balls either. When he got an RBI, it was on like a sac fly, and it was kind of a weak fly ball to left field. It wasn't like a hard hit ball or anything. Love that spot a lot for Mookie, but just didn't come through for us. We did hit on Logan Evans over 5.5 hits allowed though, but doesn't really matter because we took 2 plays, one of them missed. So when you do that on Prizepicks, you're not going to win any money. So we'll see if we can go back to getting in the win column today. We got 2 plays here for Thursday, and let's go 2-0 today. So I do have 2 hitter props that I like for today. I know the hitter props, they can always be a little bit more volatile. I'm typically not someone that plays a ton of hitter props, but if there's ever a spot that I like for a hitter, I'm going to take the prop, especially if it's a projection that I like. And we got a couple projections for some hitters today that I think are a bit low. So let's go ahead and talk about them. So the first prop that I like is Matt McLain, and we're going to take him for more than 6.5 hitter fantasy score. So Matt McLain, has had kind of a up and down season this year, but he's been hitting the ball well lately. He has gone over this fantasy score line in both of his last 2 games for what it's worth. I like this matchup a lot for him though, going up against Cal Quantrill. So Cal Quantrill going to be pitching for the Marlins today, and Cal Quantrill has been really bad this season. He's got a 5.4 ERA this season, a 5.32 expected ERA, very low strikeout rate, 18.8% strikeout rate. Gets hit pretty hard, 44% hard hit percentage. Gets barreled up a good amount, 11.2% barrel percentage. And then you look at his expected batting average, that's at 286. Both his expected batting average and expected ERA are bottom 11% in the league. His expected ERA is actually bottom 9% in the league. So overall, Cal Quantrill has just really struggled this season, and he's really struggled with right-handed hitters. Right-handed hitters have given him a lot of trouble this year. If you look at Cal Quantrill's splits against righties, righties are batting .371 against Quantrill with a .409 on-base percentage and a .654 slug. If you look at his numbers against lefties, lefties are only batting .196 with a .277 on-base percentage and a .315 slug. So very drastic splits there when it comes to his splits against righties and lefties. And it's kind of been this way throughout his career. Like for his career, he's been worse against righties compared to lefties. So I think this is a pretty good spot for some of the right-handed hitters for Cincinnati, specifically Matt McLain, who has hit right-handed pitching well this season. I mean, he's not hit right-handed pitching well because he's just not had a great year, but he's hit right-handed pitching better than he has left-handed pitching. He is batting .208 against right-handed pitching this season, whereas against lefties, he's only batting .188. And then something that has been working for Matt McLain this year, he has had really good splits at home compared to on the road. And it makes sense for McLain to be better at home because he plays in Great American Ballpark, which the Reds ballpark, if you don't know, it's one of the more hitter-friendly ballparks. So, anytime McLain's going to be playing at home, it's always going to benefit him just because that ballpark plays so hitter-friendly. And this season, McLain's batting .241 at home, whereas on the road, he's batting just .167. And if you look at the rest of his stats at home, a lot of those numbers are way better. Like his on-base percentage is like 70 points higher at home. His slugging is like 130 points higher. His OPS is 200 points higher at home. He's got a 98 WRC plus at home compared to just a 50 WRC plus on the road. So it's pretty clear that McLain has been better at home versus on the road in his career. He's facing a pitcher that's really struggled against right-handed hitters this year. McLain himself has had better splits against right-handed pitching. Just think this sets up as a really good spot for Matt McLain. And Matt McLain's a guy that does offer some stolen base upside, which is always good when you're talking about fantasy score, because with fantasy score, you do get 5 points for stolen bases. So if Matt McLain gets on base, he's a threat to run. He does have 12 stolen bases this season. He did have a stolen base in his last game. So he's been, hitting the ball well lately, been getting on base, been stealing bases. And, in this matchup against Cal Quantrill, a pitcher who, again, has really struggled against right-handed hitters, I think this sets up as a really good spot for Matt McLain. Like him for more than 6.5 hitter fantasy score. And then the other prop that I like that we're going to take is going to be on Josh Naylor. We're going to take Josh Naylor for more than 5.5 hitter fantasy score. Now, Josh Naylor's been in a little bit of kind of a up and down slump lately. He did have a home run, I think, in a recent game against San Diego that, the day he had 29 fantasy points. He did homer that day. But, as you can see, he's had some games where he's, gone over. He had the game where he had 7 fantasy points. He had 5 one game, so, lost by the hook. He wasn't in the lineup on Wednesday, but I'm just assuming that was just a day off for Naylor, and he should be back in the lineup here for this game on Thursday. And I think it sets up as a really good spot for Josh Naylor. I think it sets up as a really good spot for the Diamondbacks lefties. So the Diamondbacks are going to be facing Randy Vasquez today, who is a pitcher that has really struggled against lefties throughout his career. This season, he's been a little bit better against lefties, but he's still not been that great. Lefties are still hitting .261 against Vasquez with a .372 on-base percentage and a .430 slug. And then if you look at his splits against lefties last season, he was really bad against lefties last season. Vasquez was .365 average allowed, .421 on-base percentage, .539 slug. So this sets up as a good spot for Corbin Carroll, Ketel Marte, Geraldo Perdomo, and then obviously Josh Naylor, who we're going to take fantasy score here. I think it sets up as a good spot for a lot of these lefties. You look at Vasquez this year, you look at his stats and you would think like, oh, he hasn't pitched that poorly. He's got a 3.79 ERA, but you look at his expected ERA, 5.78. So his expected ERA is pretty much 2 runs higher than what his actual ERA is. He's just been, giving up a lot of hard contact, a lot of hard hits, not striking anybody out. He's got one of the lowest strikeout rates of all starting pitchers, just a 12.5% K percentage, which ranks bottom 1% in the league. The Diamondbacks are already a very tough team to strike out. I think they have one of the lowest strikeout rates in the league. So this is a spot where you would think the Diamondbacks are going to be able to put balls in play and hopefully score runs on Randy Vasquez. Vasquez this season, bottom 5% in the league in expected ERA. We just said 5.78 is expected ERA. His expected batting average is 278, which is bottom 15% in the league. Very low strikeout rate, one of the lowest in the league among starting pitchers. Very low whiff rate. His whiff percentage is 15.8%, which is bottom 1% in the league. So Vasquez doesn't really get any swings and misses. And if you can't strike guys out, especially against a Diamondbacks team that doesn't strike out, you're just not going to have a lot of success because there's a lot of guys in this lineup that have power, that can put the ball in play. Josh Naylor, one of those guys. He has 11 home runs this season, been hitting the ball well, batting almost 300 this year. And if you look at Josh Naylor, he's hit a lot of pitches well this season. The one pitch he has struggled with the most has been sliders. He's only batting 167 against sliders this year, but that's not a pitch that Randy Vasquez throws. So Randy Vasquez, he will throw 6 different pitches, and if you look at his pitch mix, he mainly relies on a cutter, fastball, sinker, sweeper, curveball, and changeup. And those are 6 pitches that Josh Naylor has hit very well this season. So cutters this season, Josh Naylor is batting 364 with a 591 slug. Against fastballs, he's batting 283 with a 478 slug. Against sinkers, he's batting 395 with a 558 slug. Against sweepers, he's batting 360 with a 400 slug. Against curveballs, he's hit those well, 321 average, 571 slug. And then changeups, he's also hit changeups pretty well, 345 average, 448 slug. I mean, Naylor just has been really solid this year. He's, I want to say, again, he's batting almost 300. I think he ranks towards the top of the league in expected batting average. His expected batting average is 297, which ranks 94th percentile. Just a solid hitter. I mean, he's a guy that, when he was on the Guardians, he was a solid hitter. He's been good with the Diamondbacks this year. A guy that has some power, doesn't really strike out much. Obviously, in this matchup against Vasquez, you don't expect him to, really strike out at all because Vasquez is just such a low-K guy. So this sets up as a really good spot for Josh Naylor, who's had good numbers against right-handed pitching this season, and now he's facing a pitcher who has really struggled against lefties. Really like the spot for Josh Naylor. We're going to take him for more than 5.5 hitter fantasy score. So we got 2 plays here for this slate on Thursday, guys. We're taking Matt McLain for more than 6.5 hitter fantasy score and Josh Naylor for more than 5.5 hitter fantasy score. I know 2 hitter props can be a little bit volatile. I typically, am not a guy that plays a bunch of hitter props often because I've always said hitter props do carry a little bit more volatility than most. Just because, even when you pick a hitter in a great spot, they can still go 0 for 4 any game. It's a little bit more volatile. I will admit that. But if I find a spot that I like, the projections are good. If I like those as well, obviously the projection matters. But if I find spots I like for hitters, I'm going to take their props. I'm not going to shy away from them. And these are 2 spots I like for these guys. And hopefully they can both go over these fantasy score lines. But that's what I got for today, guys, for Thursday. Let's try and go 2-0 here. Hit both these plays for this Thursday slate. As always, I do appreciate you guys watching these Prizepicks videos. Make sure you just hit that like button for me before you do get out of here. Hit that subscribe button as well. And be sure to go check out Prizepicks. Sign up for Prizepicks. Use that promo code NOAH. When you do sign up for Prizepicks with my promo code, play your first $5 lineup. You're going to get $50 instantly added to your account. So this is an easy way to kickstart your bankroll on Prizepicks. Use that code NOAH if you have not signed up yet. But good luck tonight, guys. As always, appreciate your support on these videos. Let's win some money tonight, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.